You've probably seen this acronym in your benefits package at work, EAP, the Employee Assistance Program. But for a lot of us, it's kind of this black box. What is it really for? Is it actually confidential? Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain and demystify this incredibly important and often misunderstood workplace resource. So first things first, why do companies even have these programs? It all comes down to a really simple question. What is the true cost of stress at work? Because, let's be honest, it's way more than just someone having a bad day. It has a direct, measurable impact on a company's bottom line. Check this out. A study from Watson Wyatt really puts it into perspective. When employers were asked what health issues hit their business performance the hardest, look what came out on top. Stress and lifestyle risks were right up there with people just not showing up to work. It's pretty clear proof that personal well-being and company productivity are really just two sides of the same coin. And we're not talking about a small fraction of the workforce here. Research shows that at any given moment, a full quarter of the population, that's 1 in every 4 people, is dealing with some form of mental distress. So this isn't some fringe issue. It's a fundamental part of the human experience, and by extension, the workplace experience. Okay, so you've got this massive, often invisible problem affecting a huge chunk of your people. What's the solution? Well, this is where the EAP comes in, positioned as a confidential lifeline. But what exactly is it? At its heart, an EAP is a support program based at your worksite designed to help you and your family, and this is the key word, confidentially. The whole point is to help you resolve personal problems that might be spilling over and affecting your work, your health, or just your general well-being. It's a structured way to get support. You know, EAPs didn't just pop up overnight. They've actually got a pretty interesting history. They started way back in the 1940s, and their focus was almost entirely on alcoholism in the workplace. Then in the 70s, the scope got way broader. And that brings us to today, where they've really evolved into this holistic support system for a huge range of issues that affect our wellness and productivity. All right, so we get the what and the why, but what about the how? What actually happens when you pick up the phone and use the EAP? How does a confidential call turn into actual concrete care? Let's walk through that journey. And let me tell you, the scope of a modern EAP is huge. It's not just for 1 or 2 things. We're talking about stress from a crazy deadline, conflicts with a coworker, relationship troubles at home, dealing with grief, even getting help with financial or legal problems. It's designed to be this one confidential front door for pretty much any challenge life can throw at you. The process itself is designed to be super straightforward. It almost always starts with a confidential phone call, which you can make 24/7. From there, a professional will do an assessment with you to really understand what's going on. That might lead to some short-term counseling right through the EAP, or if you need it, they'll give you a vetted referral for longer-term care. The whole goal is just to connect you to the right help fast. Okay, let's just stop and address the elephant in the room. This is the #1 question on everybody's mind. You're talking about your personal, private, sensitive information. Can you really trust that it's going to stay separate from your employer? The short answer? Yes, absolutely. And this isn't just a company promise. It's backed by federal law. The Hughes Act legally protects EAP records. You can think about it like this. Your conversation with an EAP counselor has the same level of privacy as a visit to your doctor. Your boss does not get the details. Period. Now, there are basically 2 ways you can get connected with the EAP. The most common way is a self-referral. You just decide to reach out on your own, completely voluntarily and confidentially. The other path is a formal referral from a manager, but, and this is crucial, that can only happen because of documented issues with your job performance. And even then, the only information your manager gets back is whether you attended and cooperated. They never, ever get the clinical details of your conversation. Okay, so the system is in place, the legal protections are there, but what's the bottom line? Do these programs actually work? Let's dig into the data and try to measure the true impact. The numbers here tell a really fascinating and kind of contradictory story. On the one hand, for the people who use them, these programs are a home run. We're talking an 84% effectiveness rate in solving the problem they came in with and 90% client satisfaction. That's amazing. But then you look at this other number. On average, only about 6% of employees who have access to an EAP actually use it. So why is there such a huge gap? So it's a classic good news, bad news situation. The wins are crystal clear. Productivity goes up, people are happy with the service, and in 60% of cases, it helps people avoid missing work. But the challenges are real too. Besides that low usage rate, it's actually really hard to measure the direct return on investment. That's because of something researchers call a nightmare of selection bias. Basically, the people who voluntarily seek help might just be the ones most motivated to improve anyway, which makes it tough to prove the program itself caused the change. So, where do we go from here? Like any good service, EAPs can't just stand still. They have to evolve to meet the new demands of the modern workplace and the challenges we're all facing now. And to stay relevant, they are evolving. We see them on the front lines, responding to huge, large-scale events like pandemics or natural disasters. They're adapting to support a changing workforce, one that's aging and has more single parents. They're tackling the new reality of those blurred lines between work and home. And more, they're not just some separate benefit. They're becoming a core part of a company's entire wellness and safety strategy. And this all leaves us with a final, really important question to think about. As that traditional wall between our professional lives and our personal lives continues to crumble, what role do we really think our workplaces should play in our overall well-being? It's a massive conversation, and it's more relevant right now than it has ever been.